Hey, last night we talked about the idea that you could fan the gift of faith into flame. And I talked about taking that leaf blower, that battery-powered leaf blower, and literally stick into the combustible material, and it just comes alive, right? And we talked about 11 things, a lot of things I know, and hopefully, as Rachel prayed last night, there'd be one of those for each of you, where you just thought, there's a spot I can work on, there's something that really means something to me. So without any further ado, Rachel's going to share with us this morning. And Rachel, I wonder if you could just tell us a bit about your journey, because what was that time when you first said, you know what, I'm just going to go all in?
Well, it was at high school camp, to be honest. I would come to these camps every single year from like grade 8 all the way to grade 12, and I always just felt this stirring in my spirit while I was here at camp. And then I'd go home, and honestly, I would kind of go away for the first few years, and I always thought, why can't I feel like that all the time? And so I think when I got to about grade 11, I remember there was a worship set one night in the rally, and they were it was just one of those moments where they're asking people, respond. If you feel the Lord is asking you to respond right now, then do it. And I came forward and I was just saying, Lord, I want my whole life to be for you. I don't want it to just be a week every year where I feel on fire for you. And so I remember from that point onwards, it was really clearly a difference. I wanted to do something different.
Yeah, so, I mean, first off, you had to make a decision. This is going to be it, right? So what did you do? I mean, how did you then, what were some of the steps you took to actually get that flame going?
Well, the first thing that happened on that camp is the camp leader gave me a challenge to read my entire Bible in 1 year. And I thought, that sounds impossible, but I'll give it a go. So I set all these alarms. Literally the next day I was still on camp, and I set an alarm, and I wrote the label as read your Bible. And so I started reading Genesis 1. I started that next day, and I just tried for that next year. And it took me longer than a year because I fell behind, but that's all right. But I still have those alarms on my phone even now that I just remind me, oh yes, that's where I started. I wanted to get that. I wanted the Bible in my life, and I wanted it every day.
Yeah, and so you started reading the Bible. Obviously, you've ended up here looking after the worship team. There must have been some steps in the process. What were some other things that you said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go there, I'm going to take this responsibility? How did that happen?
Yeah, well, honestly, I don't know how it happened. Sometimes things just happen and the Lord directs you. But when it comes to worship, I think that was something that the Lord cultivated in the quiet place with me. So when I was doing those morning Bible readings, I started just feeling a desire to also just sing and worship, because singing is something I love to do, and playing piano is something I love to do. And I felt like the Lord just wanted to partner with me in that and saying, I gave you those gifts, let's do them together to glorify me. And so in my own time, I would, in my room, worship the Lord and just listen to music all the time about Jesus, and just listen to how other people worshipped. And I think that just naturally led to me wanting to then lead others into that same place.
I think there's a great clue there. It's who you are in private that spills out of who you are in public, right? You can't just manufacture the outside bit if the inside bit isn't right. So there's a great place to start. Work on the inside. You went off to Bible college, you went to YWAM. How did this help you?
So I'm still in Bible college. It's been a process. And I was with a missionary organization called Youth with a Mission, or YWAM for short. And both have helped me in very different ways. So studying has been an incredible place of diving deeper into the Bible and understanding context and thinking critically about different things, and just seeing that the Bible is so much deeper and broader than I realized. And then YWAM was an experience where I felt like the Lord put on my heart to go and be with other believers who were on fire for the Lord and wanted to share that with others. And it was very others orientated, and gave me this passion to share the gospel with everyone else.
What are some of the obstacles? You got to some point when you go, why am I doing this? Or you got to some point when you said, I can't do this anymore. What were some of the knockbacks and some of the troubles that you faced?
Yeah, well, a reoccurring theme that the Lord pointed out to me in my life is that when I feel like I'm struggling or there's something blocking, it tends to be fear. That is the word that comes back to me. The Lord reminds me, Rachel, you're listening to fear again. And there's just been a lot of places in my life that the Lord has had to deal with fear. So like, fear of what will others think of me? Will I look stupid if I do this thing or if I say this thing? But I want to be obedient to you, Lord, but I don't want others to think this of me. Or, I don't know, fear of things going wrong, fear of failure. There's all these different things that the Lord's had to like work in my life to overcome those fears. And like, I have more trust and faith in him than in the lies and the insecurities that I have.
So, wow. Well, we're going to talk about this as coming up on the night before we finish camp. I'm going to talk about fear, right, and how it approaches you. So, okay, so external, anything you felt from outside you, pressures like obstacles.
Outside obstacles. What do you
If
mean?
that's too hard. No, it's fine. Good. So, I guess you face things internally, your own fears. Did you face some obstacles in resistance from people to your leadership?
Yes, yeah.
And what was that like, and what kind of things did you face?
Yeah, I think you'll always face resistance. And honestly, in any area of your life, it's part of growing and being challenged and stepping into new things as you will face resistance. But something that I've learned is that to just believe the best in others and not assume, what they're thinking, whether they are thinking those things or not, actually doesn't matter. And if I just need to take things at face value and trust that the Lord will actually just take me where I need to go and handle my relationships the way I need to. And so
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, none of this is scripted, by the way, but these questions are answers are inspiring me, right? I hope they're inspiring you. If you were to give a piece of advice to someone who's on that point of going all in and really wants to potentially say, I'm going to take the risk, what advice would you give them?
Get involved, honestly. It makes all the difference when you have people around you who are just as interested as you. And honestly, no one is perfect, and you don't have to go looking for that perfect person to like sit under and hear all their wisdom, but just a friend who has the same questions and is also in that same journey. My friends in my life, it's just been a propelling momentum, as we've all questioned, and then we'll pray together and ask the Lord, well, can you show us, can you help us? And so having friends and family in your life, or youth leaders or whoever, just get involved in different, circles of people.
Awesome. Okay, everybody, why don't we give Rachel a hand, and you guys can head to team time. So off you go.